we are going to get this started. So first, I'd like to say hello and welcome to everyone. Welcome to our next installment in the Tight 20 marketing series from Ballyhoo Digital, where we give you real, actionable marketing advice in a compact format that does not waste your time. My name is Brian Petrovich, and I will be your moderator today. Today's episode will be 20 minutes of usable marketing advice. In episode 7 of our series, we talk about how to get fast marketing results using paid search and PPC advertising. In this episode, we move beyond the basics and delve into the important tactics about paid search that will keep you from wasting money. Topics today include keyword selection, ad copy, and landing pages. We will also have a brief Q&A at the end, so please submit any questions via chat, and we will do our best to answer them as clearly as possible. Now, without further ado, I would like to introduce the founder and owner of Ballyhoo Digital, Scott Hicks.
Sorry, we've had a little technical difficulty here. Actually, a new microphone that has a mute button on it, and apologize for that.
We can hear you. I apologize. We're having some technical difficulties. Gotta love it.
Yeah. No, actually, Brian, I was just saying this is a brand new microphone that has a mute button on it, and even though I was unmuted in the webinar, I had not unmuted myself. Anyway,
tricky.
So what I was saying also was thanks again for the awesome introduction, Brian, and thank you to everyone who was able to join us again this week, and to everyone who is joining us for the first time. We really appreciate it. We love doing the Tight 20, and we love sharing this information that we're able to regarding marketing and trying to help folks do better for themselves and increase their company's success. This is it is a tight 20. It often is challenging for us to get everything in 20 minutes. I do want to sort of remind everyone or tell everyone who's new here that we don't consider these necessarily tutorials. There's so much in-depth information in any of our digital marketing disciplines that you really couldn't get to it in just a handful of webinars. But we do want to give you guys hit some key points, and again, hope to help you be successful or at least understand a little bit more about digital marketing. All right, so let's go ahead and get this thing started. 1 second, we're going to get our slideshow going here, and let's see. Okay, you guys should be able to see everything. Thumbs up or
Scott, we are good to go.
Great. Okay. So this is the deeper dive into paid search ads. Previously, we talked about it from the sort of the broader standpoint, and then in our last episode, we talked about smart campaigns from Google Ads. This week, we'll talk about some of the other tactics and things if you want to do manual campaigns for yourself. So who are manual campaigns for? They are for folks if you like doing detailed types of work. Manual campaigns are for you, and manual campaigns just basically mean that you control a lot more of the campaigns. You can really get into the nitty-gritty about this. You can really dial in your targeting and things like that. There are more levers to pull, more knobs to twist, more data to look at. So if you like detailed work, this is the kind of thing for you. If you like data, you'll see a lot more data, and you'll find a lot more data that you can use to make decisions about how you run your ads and how you're targeting things. If you want to have more control, again, that's you can get pretty granular on not just who you're showing your ads to, but where you're showing them, when you're showing them, how much you're paying for them. There's just practically unlimited options. And there are folks, I'm one of those folks who likes to have that sort of control too. If you have trust issues, this is semi-joke, but if you use smart campaigns, you're trusting that Google will run ads and do placements that are most likely to help you. And frankly, our experience is that smart campaigns do that. However, if you think that if you are a very confident type of person and you really would rather have all of it in your own hands, then we certainly recommend doing manual campaigns. They're a lot. It can be a lot of fun once you get the hang of them. You know, so we definitely will recommend them to folks who have a keen interest in learning more. So the first thing we want to talk about was keywords, and this is one of the biggest things. We actually have three sections here that we want to talk about: selecting keywords, writing ad copy, and creating landing pages. And they're all tied together, and we'll explain that to you a little bit at the end. But selecting keywords is the place to start. So how do you choose which keywords you want? We have to think about intent. So what is it that people are going to be searching for, and with what intent? What is it that you want them to find you for, and what kind of terms might they use? Might they type into a search engine, or might they speak to their assistant? That is, electronic assistant that will give them search results that include your business. And that's it can be a little bit challenging at first, but it is a thing. One of the best parts about it is that it gets you to get into the mind of your intended audience, and that's always a good thing. When you're able to understand your intended audience better, it's good for all marketing. So think about what it is that they want to find you for. Think about what it is you want to be found for. Be as specific as possible. This is a money saving thing, and it's something that you can always change. Again, you can add or subtract keywords from your campaigns at any time. You can pause them. Um, but when you start specific, that is generally the best way to go about it. So if you have a specific product or service that you want to sell, the more specific you are, the more likely you're going to get relevant clicks and more interested parties. Here's one example. We have a client right now that does software as a service. They do HIPAA compliance software. It's a very specific product for medical practices that make sure that they're compliant with laws, health privacy laws. And they can get, because of the types of because of HIPAA itself as a subject, they can get a lot of questions from consumers about what is HIPAA law and things like that. Now, generally speaking, those are the wrong types of keywords. We don't want to bid on things like what is HIPAA law, because that is a very general question. And the people who might click on those ads are generally consumers rather than the medical practices themselves that would be the prime audience for their services. So that's just one example. Make sure that you're doing what it is that. So going back to this specific example, when we bid on keyword terms like HIPAA compliance software, well, that very much is exactly what they do. And so terms very much like that, and they're very narrow and targeted like that, are going to give us the highest quality clicks. It's going to spend less money. They're going to get the traffic that they really want to get. Choose the right match type. So Google offers 3 different match types for their keywords, and generally what that means, they have what's called broad match, which essentially, if you type in a keyword or a search phrase as your keyword, broad match allows Google to choose anything that's kind of similar to that. And we discourage broad match almost in every case. In most of the time, you're going to get a lot of irrelevant impressions for your ads. People are going to see them for things that aren't really what it is you're trying to promote, and you're going to get a lot of clicks, and it's going to spend a lot of money. We generally prefer phrase match or exact match. Phrase match just means you have to have the words as they exactly are within a specific phrase, but that phrase can be part of a larger search term. So going back to our example, HIPAA compliance software, if we use that as a phrase match, and someone types in a search where to buy HIPAA compliance software, well, that would match because it is that exact phrase is within the larger phrase. Exact match is exactly what it sounds like. You have to have it. It's only going to show up for someone typing in all of those words in that order exactly. And that can be useful, but um, phrase match generally does the trick well enough. I would use exact match for some types of very specific products and services, but it's not useful for everyone. Um, and this is a big one. You want to look at your actual search terms. Once you have your campaigns running, there is a feature within Google Ads that shows you what actual terms people searched for. And sometimes what you'll find within those search terms are things that are surprising and sometimes useful. Sometimes they'll give you information on what you can, additional keywords that you can add to your campaigns or ways that people might be searching that you hadn't thought of. So it can help you with targeting, it can help you, again, understand your customer intent better. Plus, you can also add negative keywords, which I think we cover a little bit later. So we'll go into that in a few moments. So writing ads. This is obviously it's a pretty important thing. You have by necessity a limited number of characters in your ads that you can use. Google has offered a lot of different types of things that you can include with your ads, but some basic things you want to keep in mind are you want to use your keywords in your ads. Again, we'll get back to this in a little bit, but one thing to remember is that if someone types in a particular term and then they see it within an ad, it resonates with them. It is more likely to cause them to click on that ad. So write a lot of different ads and use your different keywords within them. Space is limited. Like I said, you have a limited number of characters, so be direct. Don't beat around the bush. Don't use metaphors. Don't do anything like that. Tell people exactly what it is you're selling, what you offer, what your benefit is, as quickly and succinctly as possible. Don't have to write masterpieces here. You know, this is not it's not a writing class, although I mean there are some good things that you can do to encourage people, but you really just want to be as direct as possible so that it's very clear what it is that you're offering. Again, what benefit they can get from the service or product. Numbers are your friend. This is it's an interesting one because you can. I say this because numbers have they tend to jump out on a screen. So if there's a way for you to incorporate a number, numeric characters, percent signs, dollar signs, things like that within your ad, I wouldn't necessarily go 100% out of your way to do that, but just remember that that is a thing that numbers and things like that tend to draw the eye, and that's one of the most important things you can try to do with ads. And this is this last one, CTA, that stands for call to action. So you want to say something specific like click here to learn more, or buy now, or things like that are very very important. You want to have a good call to action on every ad. You don't want to just present information. You want to tell people what to do. So, and moving on, creating your landing page, and I have S in there. It's potentially plural because I think that multiple landing pages can be very important. So first thing here, use keywords in your copy. Again, those keywords that you put in, that you chose and that you put in your ads, you want to use them in the copy that's on the landing page as well. Again, it does the same, has the same purpose when people type a certain keyword in or search for a certain search term and they see it in the ad and then they see it again on the landing page. It just gives them a very quick notion that they have found what they're looking for, that they've reached something, the information that they were looking for, or the service or product. When you're creating your landing pages, you want to think about your goal. Are you trying to sell something to someone immediately? For an e-commerce thing, that might be your goal, is to get them to put something in the cart and then go ahead and buy it. You might want to, if you have the type of business or service offering that tends to have a longer sales cycle, you might just want to get them onto a mailing list do something that will allow them to encourage them to put in their email address so you can continue to nurture them. So you really want to think about your intent here. If you want somebody to pick up the phone and call, make sure you've got a phone number that's there and prominent, and that you have those call to actions too on your landing pages. Those are super important. You should meet expectations on your page as well, and by that we mean whatever you promised within your ads, you should be delivering on that landing page. There's nothing worse than clicking on an ad that takes you somewhere, then you have to click somewhere else to really find what you're looking for. People don't have that kind of patience. So you want to deliver as quickly as you can. And as we talked about potential multiple landing pages. If you have multiple products or multiple services you're advertising, don't just send people to your homepage of your website. If you can help it, have an individual page for each product or each service that you want to advertise. You really should be sending them to a place that is as specific as possible about that particular thing. Again, we'll go back to one of our other example that with HIPAA compliance software. They also do some data security software for non-medical professionals, and so those types of ads, when we're advertising those services, they go to a very separate and distinct landing page. We don't lump everything in together. The more you can speak directly to your audience's needs, the more likely they are to accomplish the goal, whatever goal you have set, which again could be a phone call or form fill or purchase. And there are some levers to pull. I mentioned this earlier. There's lots of things that you can do. Well, let me back up for just a moment. I want to go back to what we were saying. So your keywords, your ads, and your landing pages, we mentioned keeping those keywords consistent throughout, and the content should be consistent throughout. One of the primary reasons for that is that Google likes that. They tend to they will score your ads and your keywords based on relevance throughout that process. So as long as your keywords are relevant to your ads and your ads are relevant to your landing pages, they will score your ads better, which means they're more likely to show, and it will cost you less money for those clicks. So that's an important thing to keep in mind. There should be some consistency, again, besides the fact that it is helpful for the consumer. All right, again, levers to pull. There are innumerable things that you can do to better to improve your ad performance, your campaign performance, to better target your audiences. So here are a couple of them again, and these are not necessarily in any particular order. And they're just, again, you could go into this pretty detailed, but keyword bidding is one. You can increase or decrease the amount that you bid for certain types of keywords based on their potential value to you, or based on the data. Once you've run your ads for a while, you may find that some keywords tend to convert better. Generally speaking, you shouldn't worry so much about what it costs for a click. You should, because that can change depending on the value of the keyword. So if you have a keyword that gives you a lead 1 out of every 10 times and it costs you $2, that means that lead costs you $20. $2 per click times 10 clicks, that's $20. Now, if you have a keyword that costs you $5 per click, but it converts 1 out of every 3, well, now you've gotten one lead for $15. So you've actually saved money, and you've got more valuable clicks there. So something to keep in mind. Geography. If you are a local service business, for example, your geography, you absolutely should limit your geography. You don't want to be running ads all the way across the country for things that you can't deliver. You may be a regional business. You may have offices in multiple different locations. You can add all of these things and you can run them differently. You can change your geography as often as you need to. Once had worked with a client where we did some, I think it was 1,000 zip codes, and we changed those updated them every day. And we could do that. A very specific need case, but I highly recommend choosing the geography that you want to advertise in. You may even just decide, okay, I only want to do big cities, or I only want to do the Midwest for whatever reason. But that will definitely keep extraneous clicks down and save you some money. Demographics, you can choose by demographics. You can choose by age and gender, even if you have certain products that you really are targeted to one or the other. It's a thing called day parting. Generally speaking, if you are a business to business, if your products are business to business, other businesses are going to buy your products or services. They generally only search, or the highest value searches are during the 9 to 5 hours, Monday through Friday. So it's probably best for you to advertise during those days and hours. Consumers, they have different, individual consumers have different buying habits. So you can run your ads later. You can run them on the weekends. And this is a thing that again, those are your basic rules about it, but you can change those things. I'd say almost without fail, anything that's running at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're probably not going to get a lot of high value clicks on. But one thing that you can do is you can run your ads for a little while and look at that data. You can check it out and see which ads running at which times tend to do best. So that is a lot of information in a very short period of time. We're probably over time, but I'm going to hand it back to Brian here. If you guys have questions, you can submit them via chat now. And I really appreciate everyone. Brian, we have any questions out there today?
Yeah, Scott, we can't let you off the hook that easy. We have a couple questions here. First question, for small businesses looking to grow through manual campaigns, what is your recommendation for saving time and budget, landing pages or writing ads in keyword search?
I'm sorry. Can you run the question by me again one more time? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, absolutely. For small businesses looking to grow through manual campaigns, would your recommendation in regards to budget and time be to invest in landing pages or writing ads and using keyword selection?
Keyword selection first and foremost. I mean, in a pinch, you can, for small businesses, you can use just your homepage, particularly if it has a lot of your keywords on it, and it may not convert as well as a very specific landing page. But keyword search is one of the biggest things, because we're about efficiency and making sure that there isn't a lot of waste in what our clients are spending. And the best way to do that is to really match your keywords to their intent and to your products better. So when you get more targeted, you can do more audience targeting with keywords than with just about anything else. I mean, even if you want to do demographics or geography. But if you choose keywords properly, then you're automatically going to do some audience targeting. You're going to eliminate some types of searches that aren't going to convert anyway. So I definitely put some time and effort into that. Google does have a keyword tool, search tool, where they can give you lots of suggestions based on the content of your website or based on the types of products or services you're offering. So they really do make it a little easier there, but you should put some effort and some thought into which keywords, and I wouldn't just take all of their advice. Google's offerings, it's automated, and so it's imperfect by that. Take your time, spend some time on those keywords, and that will definitely save you more money. And that's the thing. One of the other things about Google Ads is that if you start small, you can always turn up the dials. If things start to work well, when they start to work well, you can start pouring more money in, and you can start broadening your keywords, and you can start broadening your targets, your target audience. But as long as we generally will start tighter rather than with a tighter net rather than a wider net, because it teaches us a lot more about what search intent is for that particular uh, group of potential customers, and it allows us to be more efficient and spend ad dollars better for our clients. So if you're doing that yourself, you almost certainly want to save those ad dollars and make sure you're getting as much information as possible before broadening your searches.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you, Scott. And then one more question. And again, if there is anybody else who'd like to submit a question, please do so via chat. Next question, Scott, is what social media platform would you recommend for writing ads?
Social media platform,
or I guess what's the best I guess the question is, what is the best platform if you are using if you are writing ads and doing keyword selection?
Well, again, the Google Ads platform itself is really the best for it. There is a they will make some suggestions for ad copy as well, even with the manual ads these days, which is great. I would if you're not sure where to get started on that, I mean, you can always search for what it is you're trying to sell and see what ads come up and get some ideas from those. I'm not saying you should copy somebody else's ads, but you can do that and just sort of get some ideas of what it is that people are trying to promote within their own version of your products and services. I mean, this goes back to, if I would recommend if for newer viewers that you go back to some of our earlier episodes where we talk about content and things like that, and how to develop your content so that it has meaning. And all of this applies to ads as well. You really want to try to put your best foot forward because you have a very small window to get people's attention and get them to click on something. So again, being direct, I think, is one of the best ways to do that, and being very straightforward with what it is that you're offering and what benefit it has. If you can get all of those kinds of things into your ads quickly, then that has the best chance of success. Google also will has the option, it gives you the option to so that Google can select the best performing ads. You can write a handful of ads, and Google will run them all. And as some become more helpful or get more clicks, they will start to run those ads more often and sort of select winners based on that. So that's a good thing to remember as well.
Scott, is there a budget you would recommend for anybody to stay under?
No, not really, because it really depends on so much on what it is you're trying to promote, how big your audience is, how big your geography is. I think a small local business, I think you could probably get started mostly for probably I'd say start at maybe $300 to $500 a month for ad expenditures, and pay close attention to the data. Find out what's working and what's not working. Know that it's going to take probably a month or two for your ads to sort of gain traction, and for you to gather enough data to say, okay, well, these keywords aren't working, or these ads aren't working, or maybe there's something else that needs to be done. But once you're able to do that, then again, one of the beautiful things about PPC advertising is that you can turn the dial up. If you're starting to be profitable from your PPC ads, then you can just pour more dollars into it. I mean, if you're bringing more dollars in than you're spending, you're doing pretty well. And as you pour more dollars into it, you can bring in even more money. So there is, for pretty much every ad campaign, there's a point where the returns are marginal even when you increase the spend. But if you start with the $300 to $500 range, you won't get to that right away. You have some time.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you. That's great advice. And that is all I have for you today, Scott.
Terrific, Brian. Well, again, I want to thank everyone out there who was able to attend, all the returning folks and new folks as well. If you guys have enjoyed the series, we're actually on YouTube. We do these replays on YouTube. You're welcome to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see any replays if you happen to miss anything in the future. We will have another one of these in about 3 weeks, and we'll send out invitations. Not sure exactly yet. We haven't decided the order of the the topics coming up, but we'll get that out as soon as we can. In the meantime, if you have any questions or need anything, you can reach out to me, Scott at ballyhoodigital.com. You can go to our website, ballyhoodigital.com, or reach out to us on LinkedIn. And thanks again, Brian.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, everybody.